Good morning and welcome to the Morning Hot Mix with the Asphalt Nation. I'm your host, Tim Smith, and your host, Chip Stewart. Good morning, Chip.
Morning, Tim. How are you today?
Doing great yourself?
Good. I'm excited about the full throttle work ethic
Yes,
topic today.
absolutely. Yes. So we're going to talk, and a problem that we all face as business owners is getting our crew and our helpers in that mindset of ownership
Hmm.
and how to build that atmosphere and that vision with them. The and building the base of that is collaborating with your team and training your team and training your helper. So give me some insight on what techniques you think is good for that.
So for us, we do, a lot of shoulder to shoulder training, a lot of working together. We're in the truck together most all day. So we talk about the visions. We talk about where we want to see the company go. We talk about the things that could be improved upon, waste and being careful about property damage and things that occur when you're running a company. And what we try to do is get the guys and the gals on board so that they understand it's a team effort, and taking that ownership in what we do helps them to realize when they start to take an ownership that it can make a big difference in the production, can make a big difference in their final pay. It also makes a big difference in their attitude and their work ethic towards the job. They really jump in there when you share what your vision is with them, and they take that ownership and they take it to the next level. We have people now that are correcting each other instead of having to jump in from the top down. We're having people correct and move in the right direction without being asked to because they're taking that ownership, cleaning out the trucks at the end of the night, picking up the trash around the shop. And the way we power that, the way I power that is just working with the people at a fast pace and explaining that as we're doing this, we can do one job today and you can bring me as a group a little bit of revenue, or we can do two jobs and you can bring a lot of revenue. And when you're bringing a lot of revenue, I can share. So the ownership is very, very important.
Hmm. Yeah, I think when we're training our crews and our helpers, we should be training them as taking our job over. Because
Right.
and not just one or two, everybody should have that mentality that when they're on the job site, when they're in your company apparel, out in the street, even in the weekends, if they're wearing a shirt, take pride in your company. And I think by doing that is we have to incentivize them in certain ways as well.
Right.
There's different bonus structures, uh, and they need to know our cost as far as like if they damage something on the property and they have to fix it, how much that actually impacts the company and
Right.
ultimately impacts them.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And they're out there representing us. And as a team, we're representing our goals and our vision. So the more you can bring the people around you into your vision, into your goals, into your dreams, and you're aligned with that as a team, people will pay a lot more attention to it because you'll end up. There's always some people that may not fit, and we've learned that as we see that it's not a fit, it's better to handle that early on, um, because someone that's not a good fit will tend to take that atmosphere out of the company. So it's really great to have a bunch of people on the same page, going in the same direction.
Correct. And for the listeners out there, if you could just imagine having a crew of three that are all in that ownership mentality. I
Yeah,
mean, we know how we can do individually as owners for our clients, for our company. Just imagine if you have yourself and three crew
just
members
like you. Yeah.
that are just like you. I mean, and you're going to be able to succeed and your company is going to be able to thrive so much more.
And you have to allow for the mistakes also. You have to let them make the mistakes. And that's been a hard thing for me to understand and to realize that I'm really shortchanging my crew
Mhm.
if I do everything for them, and they're just a support staff instead of a true crew. This is a new page in the book for us, is to actually let our people do the technical things. And it's really cool to watch them do things that they didn't think they could do, and then actually surpass what I can do. That is the greatest thing ever. And it's a mindset that I had to get into as an owner, that the people around me are what makes me, not the other way around. And so I'm very happy to have learned a new technique that we're training everybody to be me, and let them make the mistakes. There's no greatness without failure. Failure is the very best way to learn. And I've personally, in all my years of doing this, we're good at so many different things, but I have to let other hands get on the tools, get on the implements, use the materials, make the mistakes, also learn the fixes. So for us, it's very exciting to see some new blood come in and pick up and take on responsibilities and get the team vision going.
Yeah, I think as business owners and not just owners, but leaders in our company, it's hard because we've made those mistakes and we've learned from them.
Right.
And now we just got to let the next generation or the next group member coming in learn from those mistakes, because you only make them once or twice, and then you're realizing, man, I really don't feel like doing this again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think another important thing is for our team members to understand our company goals. Whether it be financial or not. I mean, financial is important because, I mean, that's what we're here for. And it's important to know our team members' financial goals. One thing that I think is very important, and I think I might have mentioned on another episode about the one restaurant owner in my area. He owns Mason-Dixon Distillery in Gettysburg. He has financial meetings with each one of his crew members or staff every month to see what their financial goals, see how they're going with their financial goals, and he helps them get there by figuring different strategies out for them, and then he can work his business around that as well, because their financial goals is pushing him to make more revenue so he can pay them more or give them more over time.
Right.
I think it's really important to know what our team members' goals are.
Right. I do. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think that at some points in time, we might foster a kind of an us against them mentality with hours and pay and all that. And really and truly, what you want with your team are people that are meeting their goals, because they're going to be a lot happier. They're going to be a lot more excited about coming in. One of our big things, I'm a family man, and I don't want to push people to the point that they don't want to come back, and it's easy to do in this industry. You get a call, somebody needs something over the weekend. Well, you worked last weekend, and, there's a balance there. And so knowing what your people are looking for as a long-term goal, a short-term goal, financial goals, and more than that, their family goals, their time off goals, what they want to do for recreation, all that stuff's important to know and to help them work towards being the best them they can be. Because as a leader, you have that responsibility, not only to your company, but to your people also.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just think about this. If you have one of your guys wake up in the morning, they're like, oh, man, I really don't feel like going in today. But then they think,
yeah,
hey, man, I need to make this money so I can get to this point. So it may drive them to even come in, even if they're feeling a little under the weather. And
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that'll help with growth with the business and with you as an individual, almost partnering with your team and
Right. It's
that in ownership.
right. It's kind of emphasizing the big picture and how it motivates and transforms from the company to your personal life and all aspects of the employee's life as well. You don't want to be a tyrant. You want to give, you don't want to be walked on, but at the same time, you have to realize human beings are human beings. And people have goals, and sometimes you have to drag them out of them. They're hesitant. So you have to foster an environment of, collaboration for sure.
Yeah. Another thing I think it's important is incentivizing them, and it can be financial and financial. One of the things that I think a lot of people should look into is a recognizing an employee spotlight program, such as uh, doing Employee of the Month, and
Mhm.
whether it just be a picture up on the wall or just a certificate hanging on the wall that they can see, that their coworkers can see. And then with that, you can add a $25 or $50 gift card to a local restaurant that they can take their spouse out to dinner, and
Right.
just have it as an incentive, and to incentivize them to actually work harder towards
Yeah.
getting that.
Yeah. One of the motivating forces is to have someone feel important about their job and about who they are. A lot of times in this kind of work, people don't think what we're doing is important, but it is. It's safety, it's organization, it's liability issue reduction. They're very important things that we do. It's interesting as we begin to um, look at what motivates people and what gives them incentive to do things. One of our employees, she's been just awesome. We're on a job over the weekend, and because she's been listening to what we're talking about, she went and did a survey of the trip hazards on the job. So her incentive wasn't just for the company, but it was what she's learned while she's been with us. And so she did a quick survey. She made notes, and now we're sending it over to the sales department. And we're going to produce our notes in an estimate form and send it over to the client so that they know that we're paying attention also. So, and when we close that deal, she'll get a bonus based on her extra efforts there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, and you can offer, I mean, you can get them some professional development and career opportunities as well. So if, like, we had our event in Florida down at your place, sending your crews out to those places is so important. So one, they network with other people,
Mhm.
and they get to see how other people are doing things, and they can discuss and interact with them. And it is so important. Even office staff, sign them up for a different online classes to help them be more efficient, whether it be uh, sign them up for a class for ChatGPT or something in those lines to help them more efficient. And it just shows that you care about how they perform.
Yeah, that's right. And it's another really neat thing. I looked at a concept in a book about letting people go where their natural talents are instead of forcing them into a spot. And that's been um, if you kind of work, direct your crew, you'll sort of begin to see where people have a real talent and where they have that talent, and it's a natural God-given gift. It's not something that you're forcing them to learn how to do. It's something that's within them. And when you can capitalize on that, that's another great way to help incentivize the people, because it's coming from within. It's not something you're having to do, to help them get more organized or to help them push through the day. When they're doing what they love to do, man, they'll just do it.
Yeah. I know with your crew, because I've observed your crew many times. Rachel, that girl, she has that ownership mentality.
She does. Yeah.
And she would literally walk through fire, I think, for you and
Yeah.
the company and
Yeah.
do whatever it takes. And that is a prime example of what we need to make all of our employees as.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think it's, listening, learning, directing. Um, we were talking earlier about the jobs and the projects and, the cost factors. There's, there's also in some cultures, there's this thought that when you open the doors in the morning and jump in the truck, that the boss is just making money hand over fist. And I share. not every aspect, but I share a lot of what our job entails, what our job is paying, what our costs are, where we should be on a daily schedule with the job,
Mhm.
and try to make everybody understand that when certain jobs are 2-day jobs, certain jobs are 3-day jobs, certain jobs are half a day job, and when you either beat your time, you're doing much better, and you can add something else to the day, or you can get ahead on something else, or even get in. And then there's jobs, if they stretch, the profit starts to chip away. And as that's happening, you're not as able to do the nice things and the extra things for the employees. So you have to teach that, because a lot of people come from a different mentality that the boss is evil and he's out to get as much money as he can, and that's not always that's not always true.
Oh yeah.
And that's real important to have that culture and to have that understanding throughout your crew, that we have a mentality of teamwork and we're all trying to get done so we can um, produce the goals that we're looking for in our own lives.
Yeah. And on that, with the fact jobs not getting done in time, that can put a stress on the owner and the crew leader, depending on
Yeah.
how well trained your crew leader is, because it's eating into the profits. So you're
Mhm.
stressed to get done more. Then the team leader, they're stressed to get done faster and they're rushing, and then that causes problems. And then that's when you have mistakes. So I think
Yeah.
it's going back to having these crews trained as owners, they're not going to make those mistakes as much. I mean, in the beginning they will, but I
Yeah.
think if you do an ownership mentality training with them from the beginning, your learning curve is going to be shorter for that
Hmm.
person. Um, but yeah, so the incentivizing them is very important, and just coming up with some type of program. Um, what else? Do you have anything else you want to add to
Well,
that?
I would say through experience, it's you're always tempted to give a handful of cash, you know, which is good. I'm not
Mhm.
saying don't do that, but I think the incentives need to be something that is printed on paper, whether it be a bonus on their check, something that shows up at the end of their year in their tax return, um, and a gift or something that has longevity, something that they can see, something they can look at and get that good feeling again. Because if you just hand cash, or if you do favors that don't necessarily register, um, I think you might be doing yourself a disservice while you're still doing a good thing. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying, do things that, like you said, a certificate along with a bonus that goes on a paycheck, so that you can hang something on the wall and you can also put something in your pocket.
Mhm. A few jobs I've worked over the years, we did a lot of team building exercises.
Hmm.
The best one was when I was at Cisco. They did a thing at a local amusement park. We would go there, and it was for the whole family, and we'd have a
Right.
picnic there, and it was nice because you're not giving up that family time, and you're still
Yeah,
interacting
right.
with coworkers.
Right.
I think a great thing would be even like going kayaking
Right. Yeah.
with the crew and having their spouses and their kids come along.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
yeah, it can't be compartmentalized.
yeah,
On family day, it's got to be a family event. There's no
yeah,
doubt about that.
yeah. It just
And
it shows it as a family, as the company as well.
right. Yeah. And it's not the big fake thing. It's the
Yeah,
real thing. It's the relationship building thing. And if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and and it is fake, your employees will see right through it. I mean, it's really important to be transparent and genuine the whole time.
oh yeah, exactly. Um, Yeah, and if anybody wants to go into further details with that, reach out to Chip or myself. We can set you up with either a coaching program or join our Facebook page, Business Growth Pros. We have a
Mhm.
lot of insight in there. We have a monthly meeting every Thursday at 8 Eastern.
Every Thursday night, and we're going to be doing a remote show
Yeah.
um, tomorrow. Tomorrow, no, Thursday.
Well, Thursday, yeah. So we're
Yeah,
recording this Tuesday for the Wednesday show because Chip and I and we're going to be in the air. So we had to record it today for
yeah,
Wednesday. But
yeah. So we have some pretty special stuff going on for that. That's going to be really exciting. Not going to blow the lid off of anything, but it's going to be really cool. We're going to be with some great people,
yes,
some people you'll recognize in the industry, and kind of invigorating and kind of reignites the fire for the kickoff to the spring and getting into this new season.
yeah. And we got some really good people we're going to be interviewing
Yeah.
the next 3 days. So I'm excited about that. So yeah. Big one is Chris and Allie Bishop. We'll see them there. Yeah, so I'm excited. And there's some other special guests we're not going to reveal yet, but
Yeah.
we'll be putting those out soon. So yeah, I hope everybody has a great week and look forward to next week. And again, if you guys have any questions about this, either put comments in below or reach out to us. We're very willing to help, and we just like helping people get started in the business and helping people that are struggling in the business.
Yep. Help them grow, help them prosper, help them
Yes,
be who they want to be and get where they want to get.
exactly. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining in. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Share this out to your friends. We want this community to grow so we can help everybody.
Yeah. The more people that are involved, the better it can be. We get more and more people participating, more and more people asking questions, putting the pressure on us to get better and better information and get better at what we do here. That's what it's all about. And
Exactly.
keep in mind this asphalt and concrete is everywhere, and striping is everywhere. Signs are everywhere. Liability issues, same thing, everywhere. So with a little bit of insight, you can really turn this thing on, and that there's no reason to be struggling for work. We can help you figure out how to get some work lined up and on your calendar.
Exactly. All right. Until next week. Have a great week. See you guys then. And I'll talk to you soon, Chip. Have a great day.
See you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.